Lisa Leslie was a great basketball player when she was in the WNBA. She was a great basketball player for many, many years. A three-time WNBA MVP 01, 04, 06, a two-time champion 01, 02, a two-time finals MVP 01, 02, an eight-time All-Star, three-time WNBA All-Star Game MVP, eight-time first team, four-time second team, two-time defensive player of the year, two-time defensive first team, two-time second team, two-time blocks leader. All of these accolades. What a career. A whole bunch of four gold medals in the Olympics, two gold medals in the World Championships, a bronze, a gold medal in World University Games, a gold medal in Jones Cup. All of this stuff. But she's not qualified to be the head coach of a WNBA team. It's just that simple. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont, where we talk facts and feelings. This is Rudy the Hammer, bringing it to you live once again. For those of y'all who are back again, appreciate y'all. Remember, everyone, like, subscribe, follow, hit that bell, leave a comment. I appreciate everybody. Let's just jump on into this thing because Lisa Leslie's making a lot of noise. She's making a lot of noise right about now, and it's becoming kind of ridiculous. This actually happened first, and then it was the pandering and the mama. I'm the proud mom of Angel Reese on the Unrivaled broadcast, which is just not professional. I keep repeating this, and there are people that were in the comments making comments back to me saying, "Well, what's wrong with this?" She is playing the role of a broadcast journalist, not someone's mama, not someone's trainer, not someone's mentor, none of it. All personal relationships when you are discussing a player on the floor must be removed. It's just that simple. So I don't know why that's confusing for some people to understand. You'll never hear Shaq say, "Oh, I'm a proud dad," or Barkley say, "I'm a proud dad," or Kenny Smith, or any one of these guys ever say anything outrageous like that. But in women's basketball, for some reason, it has turned into a kumbaya, milk and cookies, let's roast some marshmallows by the fireplace, all that stuff. Here's reality. Lisa Leslie has zero experience coaching 5-on-5 basketball at a collegiate or a professional level. It's just that simple. Experience matters. Experience matters. Her coaching experience, just so you know, is the head coach of a Big Three team. That's not a head coaching job. Like, let's stop the noise. Stop the noise. The Big Three don't need coaches. There's no coaching in the Big Three with Ice Cube's league. No. Do you think being a head coach of Unrivaled or an assistant coach in Unrivaled makes you qualified to be a 5-on-5 head coach? No. No, it does not. I don't care what you did in the league. There's a reason that Magic Johnson was terrible at the job of being a head coach. There's a reason that the greatest players typically are the worst coaches because they don't understand failure. They only understand doing it at the highest level. So when other people can't do it, they can't quantify that. There are very, very few elite type of players that have had the ability to do this. Very few. Okay. Yes, there are a lot that have also failed miserably. And yes, people will throw out and say Steve Nash was hired. Steve Nash was hired by the Brooklyn Nets because Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving wanted him. They championed for him. And then within a couple of years, they wanted him gone because he sucked. He sucked. Most NBA coaches who are good, who never got a job as an assistant or in college or whatever beforehand, typically point guards. Typically point guards. And Larry Bird. Other than that, Tim Duncan wasn't the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. Kobe Bryant didn't become the head coach of the Lakers. Shaq wasn't the coach of the Lakers. The great Michael Jordan's never coached a team. He doesn't have the patience he doesn't have the patience for people who don't care. He doesn't have the patience for people that lack work ethic. And that's what greats, the all-time greats, typically, that's their personality. But Lisa Leslie's whining and complaining. She's never been an assistant in college. She's never been a head coach in college. She's never been an assistant in WNBA. She's never been a head coach. I mean, and obviously now she wants to be a head coach. And there's an article here from Yahoo Sports, and I think it's under The Root, written by a person named Phoenix S. Haley. The reason why Lisa Leslie won't coach in the WNBA will anger you. What? Why would it anger me that someone who's unqualified doesn't get a job? Like, this is lunacy. Do you want, I don't know, the pediatrician to do brain surgery on you? I know this is a very far outlier in terms of a comparison. Like, one thing as, yeah, I get it. I get it. The point being is, if you're not an experienced brain surgeon, I don't want you touching me. You better be the number 2 or the number 3 in the room behind the number 1 who's doing the brain surgery many times before you're going to work on my head as a number 1. Like, it just ain't going to happen. You want the guy who's trained on propeller planes to fly a 747? You graduate levels. For some reason, there are people that think they don't have to graduate levels. And Lisa Leslie might be falling into that category where she doesn't think she has to graduate. She thinks her playing career justifies her job. So she thinks that just being her justifies a job. So these are some of the comments. She sat down on Angel Reese's podcast, her daughter figure. She'll probably never coach in the WNBA for one insane reason, per the article. It's not that she doesn't want to coach, but according to Leslie, it's that she's never been given the opportunity to do so within the WNBA. Has she ever interviewed for an assistant coaching job? You are not going to sit here and tell me that Lisa Leslie has interviewed for an assistant coaching job and not gotten it. Lisa Leslie says, you know what? I'm going to say this for the first time. Leslie began when prompted by Angel Reese. I put my name in the hat to coach this year for 2 teams, head coaching jobs, not assistant coaching jobs, all the way down to the end. Leslie currently is the head coach for the triplets and the big 3. Again, who gives a crap? That's not coaching. And those guys are former professional NBA players. Like, stop. I won't say whose names, who those 2 names are, but I did not get picked. A recent report declared Black or African American head coaches decreased from 6 in 2022 to only 3 in 23, 25% of WNBA head coaches. Look, I'm not going to keep going through these semantics of percentages of coaches. I'm so tired of this. So last year when it was half the league, it's okay, but it went down, so now it's not okay. I understand, and I understand there needs to be diversity in coaching profession, but some years there are some people that just aren't qualified. That one year where 3 Black coaches seemingly must have gotten fired, there wasn't a qualified Black coach to take that job. I don't know what to tell you. I can't speak on it. I don't know. But I can guarantee you this, Lisa Leslie's not qualified. She's wholly unqualified. She is entitled, and she has an entitled, I deserve it, I earned it. You didn't earn anything. You've not coached one single day in a 5-on-5 game as an assistant in any level of basketball, college or professional. She says, and this goes back to this woe is me mentality, the victimization. I feel like I will never make another attempt to go into coaching the WNBA. You got to be 10 times as great as the Black woman in this industry. And when I tell you that who these people hired is not better than me and what I could do for this team and players, what's for you is for you, and that's not for me, and I'm okay with that. She's focused on training the next generation of talent. As you know, she's already training Angel Reese. You know what people who train players do? You know those guys, who those people are on teams? They're assistants. Head coach isn't training the player. What are you talking about? You think Eric Spoelstra is helping Terry Rozier shoot the ball in Miami? You think Doc Rivers is the one out there working with Giannis pregame? No, those are assistants. Those are assistants. Assistant's job is to work with players. The assistant's job is to work with players. That's not the head coach's job. Head coach is over all of it. Like, she's not understanding that what she does with Angel Reese is what an assistant coach does. And you know what? So far, it looks like she's doing a pretty damn good job. Looks like she's doing a pretty good job. Because it seems like there's some things that are being worked on that Angel Reese is implementing into games. Doesn't make you head coach. Doesn't mean you qualify. Doesn't mean you're qualified. Does not mean you're qualified. Does she think she's more qualified than the woman that got hired in Golden State? Not on paper. Not as a coach. Maybe as a player. Not as a coach. What I would like, see, they did a lot of this during the time where they were talking about Caitlin Clark on the Olympic team and all that stuff. Remember on ESPN how they did it? Remember how they did it? Remember how the women got up there and they said, well, who would you pull off? Who would you pull off the Olympic team to put Caitlin Clark on? Remember that question? I'm going to reverse that question now because I know I would have pulled off every single player on that team for Caitlin Clark. All 12. My first player would have been Caitlin Clark. Okay? Understand this. I want Lisa Leslie. I want those panel of women who had no problem posing those questions to make it look like it was racial. Let's pose these questions in reverse. These are the coaches that got hired. And I'm leaving Stephanie White out because she's one of the 7 coaches that got hired by different teams this year. Number 1, Sidney Johnson, coach for the Washington Mystics. This man has 21 years of coaching experience. Assistant at Georgetown, head coach at Princeton, head coach at Fairfield, assistant coach at Air Force, assistant for the Chicago Sky, and now head coach for the Washington Mystics. This man has 13 years of head coaching experience in college. 13 years. 13 years. Also black. So I don't want to hear that they don't, like the diversity is an issue now, of course, as well. Because I'm sure that could be brought up. Because she didn't get, that's a black man who got the job. Rashid Mezian, I don't know what he is. He's French. I mean, he looks like he's a mixture of a lot of things in terms of his skin color. But nonetheless, this guy has coached for 19 years. Head coach of 4 different teams 3 different teams in Europe. I'm guessing these are French teams. Belgian Sports Coach of the Year in 2023. Ligue Féminine Champion 2024. Very successful coach. Just because you've never heard of him doesn't mean he can't coach. But 20 years of coaching experience. Chris Coclains, he's the least experienced of all the coaches out here. He has like 9 years of coaching experience. Also was an assistant coach at USC. Okay? He coached he was with Connecticut, with the Sparks. 9 years of coaching experience. Chris Coclains. He's probably the one that has the least amount of experience. Natalie Nakasi, the one that got hired for Golden State. She's been coaching since 2008, another 18 years. I questioned her hiring when it happened because it seemed like it was very kind of, matching the demographic of San Fran, Oakland, San Fran primarily. But she's coached as a head coach, 2 head coaching jobs. She was an assistant actually with the Los Angeles Clippers for 3 years, an assistant for their G League team. I mean, an assistant for 3 years with the Las Vegas Aces. It's not even a conversation. This is a resume thing. This is an experience thing. Tyler Marsh, hired by Chicago Sky. Tyler Marsh has been coaching since 2012. He has 13 years of experience as an assistant, coaching for G League, all these G League teams, the Toronto Raptors. Most recently, he was with the Indiana Pacers for 3 years as an assistant, and the Las Vegas Aces for 3 years. Another guy, very, very experienced, has a resume, a background. You think you should get a job over them because you played or better at basketball? I'm just wondering. Tyler Marsh is black. Nakasi is Asian. Coclains is the only white guy so far that I've seen. Lynn Roberts is white. I'm giving you races too, but she's been coaching since 1997, 28 years. Assistant at Seattle Pacific, head coach at Chico State, head coach at Pacific, and spent the last decade as the head coach at Utah. Come on. You have a better resume to coach than these people? No, you don't. So when you make comments like this that are, pretty, pretty egregious in nature, when you say you have so much more to bring than they do, well, I don't know about that. I disagree. They have the experience. They have the experience. And just because some players in the past in the NBA have gotten head coaching gigs, for which most of them weren't very good, Look at Isaiah Thomas. I mean, he ain't coaching anymore. There's many that have not been very good. Most of them haven't. Most of the first-year coaches that were players that didn't serve as an assistant, they weren't very good. But I think it's really, really unfortunate that she has an attitude of entitlement that she's owed something because she played. Earn it. Stop complaining. Earn it. It's that simple. If you go and be an assistant for 2 years somewhere, then you can come back and have the conversation. Yeah, I should be the head coach now. And I wouldn't even argue with you. 2 years. And 2 years? You see how long these people have been assistants? 9 years was the least. 12, 13, 15, 17, 20 years, 28 years of coaching experience. You're not more qualified. Stop being qualified. Don't be mad. Be qualified. Earn it. And big three doesn't mean nothing. Please stop it. Nola Henry, I think, got a job as an assistant coach. I think she had a job as an assistant coach. I know one of these coaches did. Nola Henry just got added as an assistant coach to the Dallas Wings. Was she asking to be a head coach? Was she demanding a head coaching position? Think about it. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think of this? What do you think of this entitled attitude? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, follow, hit that bell. Rudy's Rant, facts over feelings. Come on now.